Hi and welcome to Outwell. Here I'm going to talk you through the features of our Bear Lake 4, which is a tunnel design tent in our classic collection that sleeps up to 4 people. With it being in our classic collection, you'll find that the fly sheet is made of our Outtex Airtech material. Now this is a technical cotton, which is 65% cotton and 35% polyester. That has a few advantages, including being very long lasting and durable. It's also naturally waterproof, and you'll find that it reacts very well to the environment that it's in, whereby if it's quite a hot day outside, it'll keep you nice and cool, and vice versa. What you'll notice here is the frame that we're using is all made up of alloy poles. So these are nice and lightweight, but still very strong and very stable. And what you'll see here is that these poles actually are fed through flat pole sleeves, and what that creates is a real sleek and streamlined look to the tent. What you'll notice here is that we're using our innovative Outwell wind stabilizer system. And we'll just show you how that works. What we have are these Velcro tabs, which are already pre-attached to the fly sheet, and these are just wrapped around the poles with these Velcro tabs and then held in position like so. You'll find that we have one at the top and one at the bottom of every pole around the tent. What that does is it pulls the whole fly sheet taut against the frame using these guylines that are attached here once they're pulled out. Speaking of the guylines, you'll just see as well that we are using our floating guyline system down the sides of the tent. So what that means is we have two different sections to the guyline. We have the black guyline, which ties in with the colour of the tent, and then we have our classic luminous guyline at the bottom to stop you tripping over them. You'll also find that each guyline has its own retainer, so when it comes to packing down the tent, we can just wrap these up in our hands and pop them in here so that the next time we want to use them, they're nice and easily accessible. Another feature on the Bear Lake 4 is that we are using our easy pegging system. Now this is where we're supplying you with 3 different types of pegs with the tent. So we have our solid steel pegs, and these are your anchor pegs for the 4 corners. We have our luminous plastic pegs for all of our luminous guylines around the tent. And we have our black plastic peg for all the other pegging points on the tent. So the easy pegging system, making sure you're getting the right peg in the right place. Just some other things to point out on the outside. We have these large ventilation panels, and that's going to allow cool fresh air into the tent on a warm day. If it gets a little bit too chilly, these are quite easy to remove though, just with the Velcro tabs like so, and just pop that down like that. Another feature on the tent you'll see here is that we have large windows all the way around, and what we've actually done is tinted these windows, and that serves 2 key functions. One is to reduce the glare from the sun, but the second is to make sure that you get as much privacy as you can within the tent. So when we come round to the front, you'll see that we have this panorama front on the Bear Lake 4 here. So we have the curve all the way around with every single panel having its own individual window, giving you great views out from the inside of the tent. Then what you'll find is that we have this large canopy area on the front here. Now this obviously is going to give you a real good sized sheltered area for you to be able to sit and relax outside. And then what we have done also is just added on our storm guylines on here, just to ensure that this area is going to be as stable as possible. So when we step back into the tent itself, you'll see there's a real good sized front door on here, certainly full walk-in height, and nice and wide as well to be able to get all your bits and pieces in and out here very easily. The ground sheet that we are using in this tent is a tarpaulin PVC coated ground sheet, so it's really durable. And it actually zips in on all sides, ensuring that you're going to be protected from the elements outside, and hopefully it's going to keep out those unwanted bugs as well. Stepping back in here, you'll see certainly plenty of head height. I'm about 1.95 m, and you can see lots of space above me here, and enough room in the tent for tables and chairs and furniture and things like this as well. Some other features that you'll find in here, as I mentioned, that we have lots and lots of windows all the way around the side of the tent, like I said, giving you great views from within the tent. If you do want a little bit more privacy though, every single one of the windows has its own curtain, which you can see we just have toggled away at the moment, but these can be brought either halfway up and Velcro tabbed into place, or they can be fully closed as well. And then just above the windows, you'll find the mesh ventilation panels that we were talking about, that correspond to the outside ventilation. Just above my head, you'll find that we have a lantern hanging point in a central location there, and then running away from that we have our cable tidies, which actually run down to where the ground sheet zips into the tent. What this means is where you can bring in electrics, running cables through this rather than through the doors. Speaking of doors, you'll find that we actually have 2 more doors, one on either side here. And what you can do with these is open them up on the outside and drop down the mesh panel, again just to give you really great ventilation within the tent, keeping you a lot more comfortable. At the back of the tent is where you will find our sleeping compartments, and as I mentioned, this tent sleeps up to 4 people. What you'll notice is that how the bedrooms are attached is by our waved shaped hanging point system. What this does is it just takes any stress points off of the seam of the bedroom at all, just making sure that it's nice and secure and held nicely in place, and obviously it gives it a great bit of detail as well. Some other features on the bedrooms, you'll find that we have some mesh storage pockets on the outside. We also have some storage pockets on the inside as well, ideal for any smaller bits and pieces that you might want to keep hold of. We also have a low light window which allows you to just have a look outside without leaving the bedroom, and at the back we have a large ventilation panel which again corresponds to the outside ventilation on the tent. A great feature of the Outwell bedrooms here is that they are universal bedrooms. So what that means is if we want to, we can simply unclip around the front like so, and if we did that all the way around the top and all the way around the back, then take the zips in between here, we can actually drop this down completely and get rid of this bedroom. It will then roll up and clip at the bottom, and that's going to leave you with 1 bedroom and even more living space if you so desire. So there is a couple of optional extras available for the tent. We have a carpet for the living space in here, which is going to give you a great bit of comfort. We then have a footprint that goes under the tent, and there's also an extension available for this tent as well. So that's all the features of our Bear Lake 4. Thanks very much for watching.